All right, hi, welcome back to class. This is just a quick little teaching video to go over commas with introductory elements. So this will be your IXL lesson today. It is IXL, and you'll have to search and type in these letters and numbers. So D56, so D56. Again, it's one of your starred lessons, but you will have to search for it in the little search box on the top left-hand corner right above the IXL heading. Okay, right above the Learning tab. All right, so again, using commas with introductory elements. So there are some rules with this. So the rules are you will use, after words like yes, no, and well, that's when you would insert a comma. Okay, so again, after words like yes, no, and well, that's when you'll insert a comma. You will also insert a comma after mild interjections like oh, or hey, or sure. You'll put a comma after each of those. And the last rule for today is you will insert a comma after a phrase that appears before a subject. So the first of the year, we learned about subjects and predicates. So the subject of the sentence, and then we'd draw the line and split the sentence in half or wherever it breaks. So we'd find the subject and then we'd say the rest of it's the predicate. Okay, so I have 4 examples here that we're going to go through, applying those 3 rules. Okay, so again, knowing where to put the comma with introductory elements. Okay, so the first sentence says, hey, does anyone have a pencil I may borrow? So some of you may hear a natural pause where a comma should go, and some of you don't hear it. Again, those of you that read, you will maybe see it often in text, so it'll be more familiar for your eyes to see and for your ears to hear as you're reading, okay? Hey, does anyone have a pencil I may borrow? So IXL will read each sentence to you so you can have it read to you, but they won't give you any hints. So I'll give you a hint right now. Hey, does anyone have a pencil I may borrow? Did you hear I naturally paused? Okay, so again, you will need to know that a comma would go right there. And so in the IXL lesson, you will drag the comma and place it where it goes. Sometimes they will give you a sentence where it's already correct. So they want to know, can you read a sentence and decide if it's correct or not? Okay? All right. So sometimes you'll insert a comma. Sometimes you'll say, nope, it's good to go, and you won't insert any comma. Number 2 says, sure, I can come to your party. Sure, I can come to your party. Again, those readers that dig into books, you can naturally hear that pause because you've oftentimes seen it in your reading. So sure is one of those mild interjections, and so it goes after that interjection of sure. Okay, number 3 says, no, they do not have any more donuts. So again, I've given you an example of words like yes, no, and well. You put a comma after. I will tell you, on IXL, they may try to trick you. So again, I've told you that there will be some sentences that are correct. So what if there was a sentence that said, oh, it used the word no, but there was no need for it to have that pause. So I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. How about, oh, I don't know. I can't think of one. I really can't think of one. Maybe I can get one after I'm done here. Number 4, inside the cold cave, the hikers admired the stalactites. So we learned about stalactites being formed in those limestone caves, right? Okay, so inside the cold cave, the hikers admired the stalactites. So those little towers and things that have grown from the top of the cave, growing downward, right? So do we see any words like yes, no, or well? No. Do we see any mild interjections like oh, or uh-oh, or hey, or sure? No. Okay, so this is one where we have to understand what the subject of the sentence is. So who or what is the sentence all about? Inside the cold cave, the hikers admired the stalactites. So who or what is the sentence all about? Is there a chunk that might be coming before the subject? So maybe I think the word inside is coming before. Is it about the cold cave? Is this sentence about the cold cave? No. What if I took out inside the cold cave? The hikers admired the stalagmites. Is that a complete sentence? Mm-hmm. So who or what would be the subject? The hikers admired the stalactites. So is it about the hikers? Okay, so hikers would be our subject. And then this is where we draw the line. So that would be our subject of the sentence. What would be our predicate? So now we find the verb. What's our verb? Admired. So what did the hikers do? They admired. And so that part of the sentence, or you can't quite see the bottom of the screen, that part of the sentence is the predicate. So it's about the hikers. The hikers what? Admired the stalactites. So this phrase right here, inside the cold cave, that is the phrase. So this is just a phrase that comes before. So inside the cold cave, comma, the hikers admired the stalactites. Okay, so again, you need to be able to recognize the phrase. And in order to find the phrase, it helps if you can find that chunk that maybe is coming at the beginning that you can just remove and still leave a complete sentence. And then from there, you say, oh, the subject is the hikers. What did the hikers do? They admired. That's your verb. Your verb. So you've got your subject, your verb. That means this is your subject of the sentence, and this is the phrase that comes before it. And it says you put a comma after a phrase that appears before the subject of a sentence. Okay? So again, the 3 rules. After words like yes, no, and well. After mild interjections like oh and uh-oh or hey or sure. And then also after a phrase that appears before the subject of the sentence. Okay, so this is just your little you're not a reteach because we haven't really learned a whole lot of this year. We've done a little bit with it. But again, this is your teaching video to help you to figure out your IXL lesson, top of your screen, your IXL lesson D56. Okay? All right. If you are still confused and you need more support, what can you do? Call me, okay? I am still your teacher. We are still in school, so call me if you need any support at all, okay? All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for being in school today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.